highvolumemusicradio.com. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour.
Hey, yo, Guru, you ready?
Business, marketing, accounting, social media, resources, strategies, tips, events. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour.
It's just savage business.
Grants, funding, capital, life
insurance,
annuities, finances, tax tips, strategies, music, business, local spotlights, business highlights, leadership, entrepreneurship. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour. highvolumemusicradio.com. This is Candace Joseph. We are back here at Harvard Music Radio. You know, we're in the studio, and like I said, tonight we have great and amazing guests. And I love the fact that the ladies are here with me from Sister Saturdays, podcast. You guys got to check that out online on YouTube. Check it out on all social medias, okay? Ari and Ashley, they get down to the business of everything. Purpose, prosperity, and what, ladies?
Paychecks.
Paychecks. All right. So I'm going to bring up the mic of my next guest. When I say she's amazing in her own right, she's a local Houstonian. So I'm very proud to get her on the mic as well. Hey, this is Candace Joseph with Harvard Music Radio. Thank you for being our guest tonight on the Business Knowledge Broker Hour. I'd love for you to introduce yourself to all the great listeners here in Houston and all around the world.
Hi, Candace. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, everybody, for listening. So excited to be here. So my name is Neha Naik. I live in Sugar Land, Texas, which is a suburb off of Houston, Texas. I live here with my husband, and I have a 4-year-old and a 15-month-old. And yeah, I can't really wait to jump in, but thank you again for having me. So excited to be here.
Well, thank you for being a guest. And first and foremost, let's talk about the greatness that you have online, okay? The interviews that you have done have been amazing. And, I have to say, you are one of those people that are great in the space of mindset and helping people get past those roadblocks, right? And I love the fact that you chose to work with, people. You tell people straight up, quit your 9 to 5 and become an entrepreneur. I absolutely love that. But this is the thing. You give them a plan of success in order to break through to the mindset of being great. I love that.
Correct.
I love that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your entrepreneur efforts because, look, you're a full-time business owner. You're a full-time mom. And look, you mediate a group on Facebook too, and you go out here and give lectures and classes and post content online. That's a whole bunch of amazingness in one sentence. Tell us a little bit about the things that you got going on.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so humbled by that. So, yes, let me jump in. So about 7 years ago, when my husband and I, got married, and I was working at a recruiting agency that was in downtown Houston. Just horrible work culture, right? Just to tell you straight.
Yeah.
And it was very political, and I was just very unhappy. I was miserable. I had, we were also trying to start a family, and I was like, this is not where I want to be. Like, I would dread going to work Monday morning. Like, I still remember there was a power outage one day, and I would literally pray for a few more. I was like, please be power outage so we can go home early, It was absolutely horrible. So basically, my husband one day was like, if you're so unhappy, just leave and start your own. And I think at the time, I was like, there's no way. I mean, how can I? Doesn't it take a lot of money to start your own business? And it really doesn't. It's really all about the mindset.
Yep.
It's really about your support system. And my husband has been my number one supporter since day one, along with, of course, my family, my in-laws, and everybody as well. But I think it really is about the mindset. It's really about breaking things down into small chunks and taking them on one priority at a time. And so my goal is for moms who are specifically working 9 to 5, whether they're commuting, whether they're remote, but they're unhappy where they're at, or, they've changed after becoming a mom, right? They want to be at Thanksgiving plays, or they want to go for mother-daughter luncheons at school, but they can't because now they have somebody holding them accountable. Well, I say, what the heck, just leave and start your own thing. And I think, Candace, moms don't really need cheerleading.
Yeah.
We need practical guidance on how to do it. We're already moms. We've done the hard of it, or the hard part of it, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'm here to provide moms practical guidance from even conceiving their business all the way to having a business and then growing it.
But see, that's the thing. That's the amazing part about it. You had great support system. So your husband say, hey, quit the 9 to 5. Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. Get into entrepreneurship and do it well. And the thing about it is, ma'am, you have done it well.
Okay? Thank you. I have.
You have done it well. And I absolutely love the fact that you said, okay, you wanted to, because you're a mom, you chose moms. And I love that because a lot of times we, as women, we have those things that we have to hold on to. We think about the responsibility of family, and we think about, how that, work life brings about the stability of having a 9 to 5. But you're right. There are some moments that, parents want to be there for their kids, no matter mom or dad. So why not jump into entrepreneurship, especially if you're unhappy? I absolutely love that.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, so I have a question for you. I want to ask for one piece of advice, because I want people to contact you to get the rest of this knowledge. I want you to give us one piece of advice that you would give a mom in regards to going into entrepreneurship, a mom or a dad.
Yep, I love that question. It's one of my favorite questions. The answer would be is start. You can start as small as you want. If you're really into it, figure out where you want your business to be, what your ideal client, what is your aspirations? Where do you see yourself from 5, 10 years from now, right? But just start. I think a lot of times, Candace, we get so involved with this perfect business plan and the perfect blah blah and the perfect website, and actually that kind of holds us back, because then we are like, oh, well, I don't have this website that has these 5 million pages or this perfect video. But you really, if you look at all these startups that are popular now, like Amazon, Airbnb, Etsy, they started with the most basic versions of websites, right?
Yes.
And look where they are now. They're a household name. So I always tell mom or dad, whoever you are, if you want to start your entrepreneurship journey, just sit down, take a piece of paper and start, And that is really where you start getting the juices flowing, you start thinking, and then things kind of align, because I really do think the universe responds to what you want in life. And when you start, things just kind of move in motion, right? So I always say, I always believe in imperfect action over perfect inaction. So that would be my piece of advice for people who want to start their own business.
Wait. That was a nugget. That was a jewel. I want you to repeat that again. Repeat that again.
So imperfect action is better than perfect inaction.
First of all, round of applause.
Thank you.
And this is the thing too. Not only do you give this advice, I love the fact that you have formed a Facebook group called Successful CEO Moms. I absolutely love that. And the thing about it is that not only do you talk the talk, but you walk the walk, and you tell people straight up, you gotta have confidence in everything that you do business-wise. Tell us a little bit more about your Facebook group as well. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. Yes. So my Facebook group is for, I actually started it to form a community, because I was thinking back when I started and what was I missing in my entrepreneurship journey, right? So first things first, there's a million resources out there, but a lot of moms don't know what works for them, right? So my goal through the Facebook community is to kind of handhold moms who are starting their businesses and really encourage them to do so by going live, doing trainings, having them meet with other moms who are in the same place. Motherhood is really about community, right? So even from the moment you get pregnant to the point where you have the baby, it's about your husband, your kid, your parents, the prenatal yoga classes and Lamaze classes. So if you think about us as women, we really do survive and thrive so much better in communities. And so I said, let's not translate that to the business world, right? So My community is a place where moms can say, hey, does this website color look good? does this company name sound good? Like, I'm having a really crappy week because my son's sick and I haven't gotten anything done. And then just people saying, it's okay, like, crappy weeks happen, you know? But it's so important to have a community when we're starting a business because the percentage of women CEOs is so low, right? And it's because of this lack of community. So when a woman has a kid, we automatically want the employer to give us better work hours, or we want them to be considering of what's going on. But I say, why even do that? Just start your own business and you define your own life and your own work hours, right? And that's what that community is all about, Candace. And I do a lot of snippets.
Yep.
I draw from a lot of personal experiences. I'm a big believer in learning to fall in failure. And I kind of deliver all that on the Facebook group. So I would love to have people join and you join as well.
I have already joined.
Awesome.
And it's a call to action. I want other, successful CEOs out there, and even if you're a 9-to-5er and you're listening into this right now, I want you to go ahead and take that challenge up, and just to get in the room and the spaces with other moms. I have 4 adult children, but it's kind of cool now that they actually understand what mom does, to make sure that college tuition is paid. So I absolutely love it. Because the thing about it is that you never know, they could be the ones that take it over, right? So I have two excellent podcasters here in the room with me today. They are my co-hosts. And I'm going to bring up their mics because I know they have a couple of questions for you. Who's first?
Oh, I would love that.
Go ahead, Ashley. What's your question?
Hello. First of all, I just want to say I just think you taking that major first step is very brave of you, and I'm happy for you, and I'm glad that you're a voice for mothers, period. I'm a single mother of a 12-year-old myself, and I still work a 9-to-6 job. Hello, somebody help me, okay? But I talk with my co-host Irie all the time. She be like, don't worry, you're going to quit your job, and I'm like, but when? Okay, I don't have a specific date. So just you could just give me some advice, like eventually, I'm a podcaster right now with Irie, and we have a podcast called Sisterhood Saturdays. But, right now we're just doing it out of the love of our hearts. We're not looking to monetize off of it. But eventually I want to become a certified life coach. But I'm not going to lie, I'm like, just like you in the beginning, like, where do you start with the business and you have, like, no money?
I love that because it's kind of like, okay, all right, Neha, you said just start. She's like, okay, so but how do I start? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. And you know what? I will tell you, I think you've already started. So whether you know it or not, you already know what you want, right? So you already know you want to be a life coach. And I think that's honestly the biggest step. So knowing even what you want to pursue. Some people don't even know that. They're like, oh, I want to have a business, and they have all these ideas. So what I would recommend for you is tonight, when you're done with whatever you're doing at nighttime, really write down 3 things that you can act on this week that you can put in motion to become a life coach, whether it's getting a certification, whether it's networking with like-minded people, whether it's figuring out what your website should look like and just start, or a landing page or anything, right? So 3 impactful action items that you can do today, right? Or you can do within the next week and just start acting on them, right? Start inquiring about certifications. Start, creating that Facebook page or that Facebook group. Start creating that website. And I always tell people, you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to start a business. Honestly, my first business, the only thing I paid for the LLC name. I think it was like $29.99 or something like that, okay? Yep. So it doesn't have to be something that's like, you don't need a beautiful website, and you don't need that perfect whatever, right? What really matters is that you're solving a problem. If you're solving a problem, it doesn't matter how you do it, where you do it, how much money you spend on it, people will gravitate towards you. And so that really is what it boils down to. So that's what I would recommend for you to do. And then, feel free to join, again, the community that we have, and then share what you're going through so that we can help out as a community of moms as well.
And what's the name of your Facebook group again?
Yeah, it's Successful CEO Moms.
Oh, got it down.
I love it. I love it. Like, I was looking through the videos and I was like, yes! Just like her lives are just like they're real. Like they're real. They're, they're quick snippets, but they're real. And it's just things that, even if like you don't have kids and you just want to be around people, like even with that, like find the tribe, And I tell people that all the time, find the people that you know that you could gravitate to. But I want to talk a little bit about your entrepreneur efforts as well. Like, tell us about your business because I think it's amazing.
Thank you
amazing.
So much. So I started with a recruiting agency. Like I told you about my horrible experience, right? And I was like, I am good at this. I'm just going to do it myself. And honestly, you guys, this wasn't something that happened overnight. Like didn't have clients overnight. I didn't have money coming in overnight. Entrepreneurship is all about ebbs and flows. It's all about learning to follow with rejection, learning to learn from your failures. That is what's going to make you a successful entrepreneur, right? And so that was a lot of that, and that's how I learned. And then, that company took off. What I do with that particular company is I help startups scale. So when, companies get seed funding, they come to me and they're like, hey, we're looking to hire 6 engineers. So I work directly with the C-level executives. We cut out the red tape and the BS, and then we just start, right? And then the next company I started was the Sleepy Cub, which is a pediatric sleep consultancy. So what I do is I help families empower to instill healthy sleep hygiene in their toddlers and infants, because I have 2 of my own, and I know that if I don't sleep well, I'm really crabby.
Yep.
So I just wanted to empower moms to do that. And the reasoning behind that, too, is because I am from the Indian origin. So sleep training is almost considered taboo in India, and I wanted to empower families to just say, just because you have a baby doesn't mean that you have to go like years without sleep, right? There's no wrong here, and you
Yes.
can do it. So that was the reason I started that. And then I started a data analytics agency where we basically help companies visualize their data and build data dashboards so that they figure out how to streamline their business without, losing money and just increasing efficiency. And then finally, I have a marketing agency, which is for the startup clients, but I'm specifically focused on private practices and medical operators, because I feel like doctors are really great at what you do, and thank you so much, but I feel like operationally and marketing-wise, that's my expertise, and that's where I can help you kind of scale even more, right? And then, of course, I have my course that I just launched for women who want to quit their 9-to-5. So the course name is From Day Job to Dream CEO Life, Building Your Business from the Kitchen Table. So that's what I'm here for.
I love that. Now, how can people sign up for that class? That's what I want to know. How can they sign up?
Yep. So the first step is joining the group, and then I also have my website. So it's www.nehanaik.com/home. When you go on there, you will see the link to my course and the other businesses that I have as well. So you can just figure out what works for you, what you're looking for, and it's all right there.
I love it. I love it. All right, so Ari is here also. She's a fellow podcaster. She's in here as well. She has a question for you. Go ahead, Ari.
I actually have several questions, but for the sake of time, I'll ask you the most important one.
Yes.
Okay, so you wear many different hats, and I can relate, and I'm actually new to my entrepreneurial journey. I'm about a year in this game, and it gets rough. Oh my goodness, it gets rough. But like you said, there's highs and lows. So I would love to know, how do you manage everything effectively without cheating on the other, job or the other project? So
Yeah.
how do you balance that?
That's a really good question. And I've gotten better at it. I used to be horrible at it, right? And it took like a couple of late nights to say, hey, I really need to get my stuff together. So I'm a big believer in time management. I'm a really big believer in, starting out the morning, not by checking emails or checking phone calls or messages, but figuring out for the first 30 to 45 minutes what my priorities are, right? So I don't know if you guys know Brian Tracy, but he came up with this method called Eat the Big Frog First, right? So when you wake up in the morning, what are the top 3 or 4 things that you have to do that are going to have a high impact on your business? But what is the most important thing that you have to get done today that is going to take up the most energy and the most time and just brain power? and you get that done first thing, even before you check your emails, because it gives you two things. One, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, right? I go to the gym every morning. I don't know if you worked out in the morning, you come home and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I got so much done, even though like I just woke up, right? Because it's kind of that big item on your list that's ticked off. So it gives you that sense of accomplishment. But other than that, whatever needs to be done urgently is done. So you're not going through your day going, oh my gosh, it's already 2 o'clock, I still need to do this, I still need to do that. Whatever was due that day and had the most impact on your business is already done. So now you can move on to other things. So every morning I come up with a list of 3 to 5 high impact things for all my businesses that need to be done. And then it's, every week is different. So some weeks are a little bit crazier on client calls. Some weeks are a little crazy on recording, like for the course. Some weeks are crazier for like mapping out marketing efforts for upcoming months and quarters, right? Mm-hmm. So it just really depends. But I think as long as you know how to prioritize, and again, this is not something that's going to come overnight, right? This is something that is going to take actual proactive planning on your end. I used to kind of just get anxious about whatever was, like I would start off by checking the emails and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have like 100 emails, what am I going to do? And I was like, stop, like it doesn't need to happen right now. Whatever is high priority needs to get done first, and everything else will kind of follow suit.
Wow, bars. Thank you.
Love it. See, that's just the thing. That was the jewels, right? Mm-hmm. And this is what I'm saying. This is why I love doing this, because, you get the wisdom. Like, I sit here and wrote notes, okay? I wrote notes because I am that entrepreneur that has multiple companies, and sometimes people say, well, how do you get it all done? It's like, hey, you have to get it done. Yeah. You have to get it done because... that's, I always tell people, like, my kids are adults, right? So it's like, okay, my business is my baby. So I got to sit here and think about what I have to do. And like you said, those late nights, I know about those late nights. Sometimes I have 2 o'clock and 3 a.m. late nights. But I'm shutting it down early. I'm doing better. I have a team, and my team texts me and call me and say, get offline, shut down your laptop, it's time for bed. And I'm like, man, like a kid.
Yep, that is so important too.
Well, I absolutely love it. I want to say thank you for being my guest for tonight's show, and tell people once again that are tuning in, how can they get all of this great amazingness? Because you and I are going to connect. Look, you got my personal phone number now, so you and I are going to have to connect, because you're in Sugarland. My office is 10 minutes away from Sugarland, so we're going to have to meet up and have lunch.
So I would love that. I absolutely love that.
Yes, tell everyone that is tuning in here in Houston, Texas, and all across the globe, how can they get in touch with you to get this greatness?
Awesome. No, I love that. So like I said, go to my website, www.nehanaik.com/home. Candace, I'm going to send you that link as well.
Thank you.
You already have my Facebook group, so please feel free to share that with them. It's called The Successful CEO Mom. And you can also reach me at neha.naik at recruit, so recruitgyan.com. So, and then you have my number as well. So reach out to me. My goal is to empower women to rise above whatever situation they're in and empower them to be an entrepreneur. So even if I can help one mom, right, I would consider my vision accomplished or my goal accomplished, because I feel like we really need this. I think this is missing in our society. We really need this. And it's my personal mission to make it happen.
I absolutely love it. Thank you for giving us the wisdom tonight. Thank you for being light. Thank you for being love. Thank you for bringing the knowledge. And thank you for being my guest tonight. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. It was so nice to meet all of you.
Thank you.
For all of those who are listening, I hope this was helpful, useful. And again, don't hesitate to reach out.
It was. Thank you. And just know, look, I'm reaching out to you later on this week because, you might have to help me prioritize some things, and I might bring some outsourcing your way to a couple of items. But we'll talk about that offline.
All right. That sounds like a plan. I'm all ears.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye, ladies. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
HighVolumeMusicRadio.com. The business knowledge broker out.
Hey, yo, Guru, you ready?
Business, marketing,